Yeah, music is more than sound.
Today I want to talk about women in the music industry. I myself have experienced a lot, from very positive moments to very negative ones, and how I actually had to fight even harder while working in a world that is still heavily male dominated. Before we dive deeper into this conversation, let me quickly introduce myself. I'm Sunny. I work with musicians, studied music, business, and film production, and I live somewhere between music, film, and social media. I have recorded many artists on stage, capturing real moments, real energy, and real stories. I'm also deeply into social media, love analytics, and love building things from scratch, watching the numbers and reading the insights and understanding what really works behind the scenes. It's a mix of creative mind and analytical brain. Kind of that's me. I remember 2017, there was an artist I worked with. I created a lot of beautiful pictures, graphics, and promotion for him. Not only for him, for many. I was always very active on social media and got used to this mindset. Let me create, but also inform. One day, that artist came to me and said, "Hey, Sunny, you need to start creating videos." And honestly, I wasn't really a fan of that idea. I felt very comfortable with what I was already doing. But somehow, somewhere, I did listen to him. And I even started going to school to study video production. I did that while I also recorded artists and concerts. I recorded many beautiful talents, from well-known artists to artists who were just starting. And being in a field, seriously, I truly love it. That was my world. Yes, and recording became a very beautiful journey, from artists to events to also demonstrations and much, much more. I was fully in it. And I was even running from city to city. And yes, it sounds really, really amazing. And for some of you, as you're listening right now, maybe it sounds like a dream. The work behind it, that part, a lot of people didn't even see. Not even yet. I was studying full time, 40 hours a week. And on top of that, I recorded sometimes on Thursdays, then basically in the evenings, and also the weekends. And no, it wasn't just recording. It meant traveling from city to city. I studied, I worked on university projects while traveling, either by train or bus. There was also the time I worked on promotions. I was always ready, from picking up the artists from the airport, filming there too, by the way, to being part of the organizations of the events. I also studied project management, so that was all part of it. Arriving in cities after maybe, let's say, even 7 hours of a ride was exhausting, but no one actually heard me complaining. The energy I had and the love I have for what I was doing was too big. I loved where I was. I loved recording artists on stage. Why? Because I grew up being on stage myself. So I understand what it takes. I felt those moments like I was on stage again, Because I was so deep into it, I think I didn't realize how unfair and disrespectful some situations were. I don't generalize, and I will not even mention any names, but yes, especially some men in this industry. Maybe you think this podcast is meant to be as like kind of a payback or to talk men down. No, not at all. I'm using this podcast to make sure other women understand how to protect themselves better than I could back then. Today I can say, even though I went through not only disrespectful situations, but also hectic setups, today I don't let anyone, let's say, book a hotel room for me. I don't go to meetings alone. And I always have the law beside me. I learned a lot through what I faced back then. I became not only stronger, but also smarter in many ways. But honestly, I hate the fact that people try to take advantage when we should be focusing on the main goal, which means the movement in the entertainment industry. I'm also talking not just the music side, but also the filming side. I would love to talk about the protection, how women can protect themselves. The first one would be protecting yourself in meetings. A woman should always have support in meetings, but that support must be professional and trusted, not just anyone. This isn't about isolation, it's about protection and, attending meetings safely. Always bring a trusted person, either maybe a manager, an agent, mentor, or lawyer. I would even say, someone who can advocate for you. Document everything. Have notes taken or record the meeting with permission, of course. You have to ask for that. Prepare boundaries beforehand and know what you will and won't agree to. Contracts are so important, even if the meeting feels friendly. Partner with female mentors or collectives who can attend meetings with you. Always create meeting notes. These creates a paper trail if things go wrong. What I also would say is contracts, they are non-discussable. Even verbal promises must be documented. If you don't have a lawyer budget, use free legal templates. There are a lot of things you can help yourself with. There are many organizations in your country, wherever you're listening from. Get also an idea how someone can actually help you, even if it's low budget. And I would also collaborate with law students or again, community lawyers, and always read the small print. Very, very important, always. People in this entertainment, they at some point don't set boundaries. I get to understand very, very early there is no room for flirting, no compromising our comfort. Music has to stay professional. Definitely say no if someone is pushing you against your boundaries. The best is to say, hey, I'm here for music. Let's keep this professional. Me personally, I have to say, flirting was never part of those things. I didn't allow it to happen. I actually moved away very fast from anyone who tried me. I trusted my instincts. And I wish you, as the listener, and you being in the music industry, you trust your instincts too. For me personally, if it feels off, I'm already leaving. So some examples are like producers asking for personal favors, for example, managers pushing unrealistic schedules, investors overstepping personal boundaries, all of these things are red flags, right? They are not opportunities. Have that in mind. Very important. Yeah, and this is what we have to take care of. We have to speak things out for better protection. There's another point I would like to talk about, which is the handling the budget. It's very important to use verified basic contracts. Really, really make sure of that. And as I mentioned also, like documenting meetings with notes or audio. I cannot mention it enough. It's really, really important. Connecting with women who already started having those unions and some of them even organizations. Over here in Berlin, for example, we have a female film organization, which they are focusing on the women and the strength in what women can create, which is very, very important and necessary too. And this is our field where we can freely be creative, surrounded by other women. Yes, and we do have to protect the emotional side and the mental side. I mean, we have to create that awareness too, to talk openly about like the stress or the pressure. We really have to speak out more. Like having that circle around you is so, so, so necessary. Community matters. Women supporting women reduces the risk and builds confidence. I just believe we as women and we as the ones who has been facing that, should be there to protect those who are entering into the music industry, the entertainment industry. We cannot talk enough about this topic to make sure it reaches out to a lot of people. Never go into important meetings without a strategy, and never go into meetings without another person, a person you trust. Keep everything documented and use contracts even when it feels uncomfortable. Some people might play with your emotions, or they feel they are more powerful. Don't let anyone scare you. As much as you would like to move forward, and as much as you would like to be seen and to be heard, really focus on understanding the value you have, talking about you as a human being, because there are many beautiful women who has beautiful, amazing knowledge in this field. At some point, we are being used, disrespectful situations. Important also define boundaries early and clearly. Very important. When you have a conversation, I just want to give out another example I had. I was online on social media creating promotion for quite a few artists, and someone contacted me and asked me, hey, can we have an interview, a telephonically interview, because the person was living in another country. And he wanted to talk to me about artists and promotion, and also wanted me to kind of assist and help him. I said, okay, no problem. We set up a date and a time, and it started off friendly, but it turned out to go more in the flirty way from his side. And I stopped the conversation immediately as soon as he started saying some things which crossed the boundaries, which wasn't part of the conversation he wanted us to have. I stopped and I said, hey, I'm not going further with this here. You don't have any rights to start flirting with me. I focused on the conversation you asked for, and you crossed the boundaries, and therefore I am getting off the phone. I don't even excuse this. There's no reason to flirt when we are on the professional side here, and when we are focusing on the movement. Define boundaries early and clearly from the very first talk you have. And then also know your low budget legal resources, how you can maybe find in your city, in your country, build a trusted circle. We women, we should come out more, as I said, and talk about such. Why? That is our circle. We can share each other's stories and experiences, which is very important. And then also to understand how we got out of it and how we got smarter moving around and walking around some things. A story about me filming an artist on stage while there was another filmmaker who was trying hectically on stage. Before the event started, I was talking to him and say, hey, how do we do this here? Kind of like figure out where does he want to stay and film? Where do I want to stay and film? We kind of spoke about it. But while we were on stage, the other filmmaker was actually always in my way. He was always in front of my camera and trying to ruin my footage. I learned how to move around him. My footages are still beautiful and fine, but that was really an obvious thing, the way I had to fight on stage to film that artist, which the footages are actually for the artist, right? So why would you be in my way just so you have your own footages and that you will shine brighter? At the end, I love the fact that the artist, after the concert, after we went to the VIP and even had a meet and greet with the fans, that artist, he was seeing me being on stage, fighting to get good footages of him, which he is maybe using for, promotion reasons or whatsoever. And he saw how I was even walking around that guy who was keep on going in front of my camera. After that concert, he he really basically threw out that guy. He said, I don't want never that this guy will ever record me And this artist is even a well-known artist. This man should move immediately. I saw what he was doing to that lady right here. She was working hard. I mean, he saw a lot. While the filmmaker who was in the VIP complaining about this and that and this and that. And I was just quietly doing my job. And he saw. And yes, that is an artist, that is a man who saw what happened. And he was actually stepping up for me as a woman and for me as doing my work professionally. And he kicked out that guy who was in my way. Let us women come together and find ways how to connect better and learn how to get much, much stronger so that people who believe they can run over our doings and trying to pull us down, that we become much, much stronger. Also legally, have the law next to you. Learn how to say no. Learn how to say no. Because protecting yourself is not being difficult, it's being professional. So to every woman listening to this, you are not here to be tolerated. You are not here to be tested. And you're definitely not here to be used. You are creative. Your time, your ideas, your energy, it all matters. Your voice matters. Your work matters. You don't have to become harder to survive. You don't have to accept disrespect to prove strength. Protection is not weakness, and boundaries are not an attitude. I know how much people like to use our boundaries as us being difficult. Don't let anyone tell you you're being difficult. Even in this case, I'm telling you as it is. Me, if someone is calling me being difficult, that is the point where my boundaries also start and say, hey, have a good life. I move away quietly from a person who calls me being difficult when I actually say no when someone crosses my boundaries. It calls self-respect. And here to the men listening to this is not about pointing fingers. It's about creating awareness and responsibilities and growth. And you as men, if you open your eyes and ears and have an understanding of what women are actually creating and building in any directions, and that you also in support, as we have been in support in your direction too. So it's just a fairness here. We are collaborating. We are in teamwork. And real strength shows in respect in how we treat people when no one is watching, right? It's also in how we honor work. The music industry does not move forward by talent alone. That one we know already, right? It moves forward through number one, trust, fairness, and definitely healthy teamwork is so necessary. And that we're creating that space where we as a creative minds, we all can breathe and that we all will be seen, where women don't have to protect themselves from the system, but are protected by it, where respect is a standard and where work is valued, where people are seen as humans first, not opportunities, where people, I repeat this again, where people are seen as humans first. We are not opportunities. If you are still standing, still creating, and still dreaming, then you are already part of the change. And remember this, you do not owe anyone access to you. You only owe yourself honesty, safety, and growth. I seriously and really, really appreciate that you all have been listening. And I can only say again from my side, let's be part of a beautiful movement filled with respect and care. And let's make sure that we all find ways how we get a better understanding for each other. But also everyone has to respect the boundaries. Thank you so much. And again, thank you for everyone who has been listening. Thank you for being part of a more respectful, more conscious music industry, entertainment industry. If you have any topics you would like us to talk about it, or you would like us to dive into it, you're always more than welcome to contact me either via Instagram or you also find me on TikTok. And yes, I'm very, very happy always to hear from a lot of people. I have beautiful conversations throughout, either in the comments or messages, or on a live show on Sunny Sunshine's platform on TikTok. Very beautiful. And we all keep the respect and we all keep it very, very positive. But we also talk about very, very important topics and keeping it real. And this is how I see that this is a beautiful movement. And I'm very, very thankful and grateful for having such beautiful moments with you all. So please create more awareness. Please be protective also towards others. If you see a funny behavior, or if even a woman comes around and even is telling you that something happened to her, have an open ear and find ways how she will be protected for also for future purposes. We all can create a better and a more secure space for all of us, actually. Thank you so much again for listening. Much, much love. Sunny Sunshine.
Music and everything in between with Sunny. Music and everything in between with Sunny. Music and everything in between with Sunny.